Hi, everybody. Welcome to Adulting 101. This week's topic is mental health awareness and self-care. We're going to go into some information about what is mental health. We're going to talk about self-care, the importance of that, as well as just stress management and some resources. So, please hold while I pull up this presentation. All right. So we're going to go into it. So this presentation is mental health awareness and self-care. So mental health, this is just the overview of what we're going to talk about today. What is mental health? Mental health and well-being, self-care, how can I practice self-care, creating a self-care plan, stress management, managing virtual fatigue, and resources. So what is mental health? So mental health focuses on a bunch of different facets, similar to every other type of health. It focuses more on your emotional, psychological, and social well-being, and it affects how we think, feel, and act. So think of it this way: everyone has mental health. Same way that you have physical health and well-being, your mental health is just as important. It impacts our behaviors and emotions and how we handle stress, make choices, and relate to others. Positive mental health can look different for many people, but it often looks like positive personal development, positive and respectful relationships, open communication, and being able to set goals. So mental health, it is and it isn't a couple of things. So a lot of people do have stereotypes. Mental health is important. It is something that everyone intrinsically has and is linked to physical health as well. It's on a continuum and a spectrum. So there's not just poor mental health and excellent mental health, it's a spectrum. It's worth making time for. It's part of being human, something that we need to look after. It's both positive and negative. It can be changeable, it's complex, and essentially it's just real. What mental health isn't, it's not a sign of weakness, it's not shameful, it's not all in your mind. It's not always something that's negative. It's not something that you decide to have. Everyone has mental health. Something to think about only when it feels broken. So you should be working proactively on your mental health. It is not an interchangeable term with mental illness. It doesn't mean that you're feeling good all the time. Mental health, like I said, is a spectrum. It's not something you could just snap out of. It's not fixed. It's not fake. It is what it is. So 10 things students can do to boost their mental health is look at it as mind and body. So look after your body as well as your mind. So eat a balanced diet, keep hydrated, and get into a regular sleep pattern. This is really important. Exercise, whatever this means to you. If you can engage in regular exercise, find a sport or activity that you enjoy, even if it's just walking or playing something on your Nintendo Switch that requires activity. Exercise is a great tool for improving mood and reducing stress and anxiety. So organization, manage your time effectively and stay organized and to stay on top of things. This will help reduce pressure and stress. Self-care, we're going to go into self-care a lot later, but it's important to practice self-care. We're just going to touch upon it right now. Make sure you look after yourself, relax, smile, take a bath, go for a walk, do something that you enjoy. I know that sounds really, really surface level, but we're going to go into that a little bit more later. So talk to somebody. Don't be afraid to talk to someone about how you're feeling. Talk to your friends, your family, a teacher, anybody. So breathing, very important. Learn how to breathe effectively. Practice a number of techniques to find what works for you. Ratio breathing, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation. We're going to talk about an app that goes into that a little bit, but even just taking a moment, taking a step outside of yourself and just breathing can be so helpful. Something that can be really good is 4-square breathing, which is inhale 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, and then you just circle. Whatever you're comfortable with. Write it down. So write down how you're feeling and how you're thinking. You can journal, you could bullet journal, you can do whatever you want. This can be really simple and a way to just understand what's going on with your mind and body and just get everything out there. Challenge yourself. Try to challenge your way of thinking. If you experience an unhelpful thought, try to turn it into a helpful thought. Check in. Regularly check in with yourself and monitor your emotions and your mood. This is really important just to be present with yourself. Problem solve. Learn how to problem solve effectively. This is going to help you when you experience a problem and you're trying to figure out a solution. You're going to be able to effectively solve it and to work really hard to do that in a timely manner so that you're not stressed out. So emotional intelligence. Why is this important for mental health? So emotional intelligence is understanding what we're feeling. It's being able to identify, manage, and understand our emotions, and it can help us better process them and lead to an overall well-being. So if you're feeling a lot of emotions or feelings, it's really helpful to be able to identify what you're feeling, because then you can maybe branch into why you're feeling that way. It can also help us understand our true needs and how we can better ourselves. So self-care. What is self-care? Self-care is activities and practices that are specific to your needs and that help you reduce your stress and enhance your overall mental health and well-being. This is a proactive way of taking care of yourself. So sometimes with self-care, it can feel like, I'm so busy, I have so much stuff to do, I don't want to take time to do something I feel isn't productive. Self-care is always productive and important because you're being proactive in your taking care of yourself so that you're able to better yourself overall. Without self-care, we might burn out, which means we just feel fried, we don't feel motivated, we can't be productive. So it's important to prioritize taking time to take care of ourselves and working with that. So self-care manages, it helps us with our daily stresses in areas that are not included. This is not an all-inclusive list, but academic pressures, interpersonal relationships, and future plans. Okay, so self-care wheel, right? There are 6 facets that are important when you're thinking about self-care for your holistic well-being. So there's physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, and professional, which I know sounds like a lot, but we are in-depth, multifaceted beings. So for physical, what that looks like self-care-wise is just giving yourself medical care when you need it, eating regularly, getting sleep, exercising, taking the time to get a massage, enjoying physical things like hugs and intimacy, if that's something that you like. Psychological is taking time for self-reflection, making time for therapy or counseling if that would be helpful. Meditation, keeping a journal, being creative, joining a group. Emotional is exploring a hobby, cuddle with your pet, and get involved in programs, something that's just going to give you kind of thought-provoking stuff. Practicing self-love, crying. I know that sounds really silly, but crying is self-care because you're letting yourself feel those emotions. Spiritual, practice forgiveness. If this is something, this does not have to be a specific religion or anything like that. It's what it means to you. Spend time with nature. Connect with a spiritual community if it's something that you identify with. Sing or dance. Do yoga. Volunteer for a cause. So personal, plan and set goals. Spend time with family or loved ones. Learn a new skill, read a book, make time for friends, reflect on who you are and what makes you special. Professional, take your full lunch break. I know a lot of times I'm guilty of this too, don't take the full break for something, or even for classes. If you're in classes, take time, take a break in between where you just get to exist. Leave work at work. Don't carry that mental load all day. Take mental health days. Learn when to say no. Use your vacation time and set boundaries. So how can I practice self-care? Find out what works for you and make self-care a priority in your schedule. Self-care looks different for everybody, and a lot of times we look at self-care as buying ourselves stuff or doing this. It doesn't have to be that. If that's what's helpful for you, okay. But some examples, we're going to go into it a little bit more. Setting a sleep schedule, exercise, doing something that you love, positive self-talk and self-compassion, being caring and kind to yourself. Gratitude, taking a moment every day and writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. Mindfulness, being present in the moment. Taking time with loved ones, whether that is family, friends, pet, whatever that means to you. Journaling, if it's helpful for you to write stuff down, do that. Get everything out. It's figuring out what works for you. So here are just some examples of self-care. getting plenty of sleep, enjoying sunshine, cooking, writing or drawing, talking to yourself. It's okay to talk to yourself. Cuddling cats, animals, dogs, take a walk, tidy things up, reading. Reading about people whose lives are more complicated than yours can be helpful. Everyone's problems and everyone's situations are valid, even if we feel like it's not as strenuous as someone else's. But sometimes it's a little bit helpful, and it puts things kind of like, you know what? I'm happy that I don't have their life at the end of the day. Garden. Something that I do is I really enjoy plants, and that's my form of self-care. So just planting, watering your plants every day, getting a hug if that's something that you can do. I know COVID changes things up a little bit, and also talking to select people. It's okay to set boundaries and limit who has access to you. So this is a list of 50 things that you can do self-care wise. Just to give some examples, I'm going to briefly read through them. So take the time, pause the video. You can drink herbal tea, try affirmations, write 10 things you're grateful for, take a detox bath, try a face mask, breathe deeply, light your favorite candle, watch a motivational TED Talk, exercise, walk in nature, buy yourself flowers, write 5 things you love, journal, make a vision board, declutter 10 items, read a personal growth book, go for a long walk, listen to your favorite music, do something to laugh, plan a getaway, cook your favorite meal, watch your favorite show, have a night with friends. And I know that we're social distancing, so do a Zoom night. A game night, something that you can do that makes you happy. Do a brain dump where you just write everything out and you take that moment. Go out for a date night if you have a significant other or someone that you want to do that with. Do something new. Give yourself a manicure. Call or text someone that you care about. Do yoga poses. Even if you feel like you're not doing them right, it'll still be good. Listen to your favorite podcast. Spend time with someone inspiring. Stretch. Do a spa day. Do a digital detox. Eat a salad or a smoothie or whatever makes you happy. Go out in the sunshine. Go to your favorite place. Take some pretty photos. Get a massage. Hug someone. Drink a full glass of water. Stay hydrated. Write some inspirational quotes. Put on some nice clothes and makeup. Sleep. Watch the sunrise. Refresh your morning routine. Change your sheets. Diffuse essential oils. Do something nice for someone else. Go out for coffee. Self-care can look like anything. It's about what it does for you and how it makes you feel. So if you don't like any of these 50 things, that's okay. What do you like? So creating a self-care plan, 7 steps. What do you value? What brings you peace? What do you need to do now? Take a moment. Create a list of self-care activities that you already do. So, okay, every morning I wake up, I make myself a cup of tea, and I sit down and I enjoy it without doing anything else. Okay, how can you do that? What are self-care activities that you benefit from adding? So how do you want to, okay, do some things. What do I want to add? What works for you? Refine your focus. Don't try to add everything at once. If you try to do all 50 things in a day, you're going to feel burnt out and you're going to never want to do anything ever again. It's not fun. It's not self-care. It's a chore. Create a self-care plan and set some simple goals. So, okay, this week, every day, I want to take 5 minutes in the morning to just watch the sunrise. I want to take 5 minutes and to meditate. Whatever you want to do. Commit to your goals and keep track of your progress. There's a lot of really great apps that you can track things in that can be really helpful for you, and just checking it off and seeing your progress can be rewarding. So we're going to play this video that's going to just talk about, oh, no, you don't want to cooperate? Okay, hold on. I'm going to exit the screen. Okay, so I'm going to go into a different screen. We're going to watch a brief video, and we're going to go from there. I just need to find it. Hold on, one moment. Fun technical difficulties. Okay, so we're gonna go into people sharing their self-care routines.
I mean,
We're going to pause that. So, those are just some ways that other people, right, do self care and what that means to them. And self care is important for everybody to just have good, well, mental health. Um, so the next, we're going to talk a little bit about stress management. There was a really helpful video that I found, so I'm going to just pull that up, two videos back to back, um, and we're just going to go into that um, just a little bit. All right, thanks for sitting through and watching that video. We're gonna just go through a couple more things. Just give me one moment. So we watched this video. So something else that I think is important to talk about, especially when we talk about stress management and mental health, is how to manage virtual fatigue, right? So how to stay motivated and prevent fatigue as much as possible. So what is virtual fatigue? Virtual fatigue is the experience where you start to feel fatigued or burnt out or tired after constantly digesting virtual media. Being on really long virtual Zoom calls, constant online media, everything. It's easy to lose focus. We start to kind of zone out, not want to listen to things, not really have it in us to stay attentive, find it harder to catch up. So if it's just continuous video, taking the time to educate ourselves outside of that, and then video call focus, where we're expected to be present, to have our cameras on, to look into the camera, and it just can be really fatiguing to do that. So some resilience tips for virtual fatigue that came from a really, really interesting resource is allow yourself for transition times. Even if it is 10 minutes in between, take the time in sessions, anything to just be present with yourself, remove yourself for it, and give yourself time. Get up, stretch, walk around, do something that's just not you sitting and staring at a screen. Be kind to yourself. This is a difficult situation that none of us were prepared for. And it's okay if you need to take some time and if you are just feeling fried, really focus on those self-care techniques. And then try to find balance. So for everything that you're doing virtually, find something that you enjoy outside of that so that your entire life isn't just Zoom calls. And don't forget your passions. Take the time to realize what you're passionate about, remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and find those motivations, that why. So it's important to manage your mental wellness as individuals and take time for yourself. So some resources, both on and off campus. So we're going to talk about some campus resources and then some digital resources. So the counseling and psychological services on campus is a really great resource for anybody. I know that there are stereotypes about counseling and therapy, but for our overall mental health, this is a really good resource because it's someone who is there to help you, to listen to you, to help you create that self-care plan and to keep you on track with it. All of the campus resources, if you go to the SUNY Old Westbury page and literally Google these words, they'll pop up. The Health Center is another great resource that can help you if you are feeling physically unwell or things are like that, which plays into your mental health and your overall well-being. And then faculty and staff, we're here to listen to you, we're here to support you, you need. So applications that are there for mental health and awareness. I'm just going to talk about a couple of brief ones because I could list for days. Headspace is a really great meditation app. And also just a good one. It's $10 a year subscription for students. So if you have a student email or student ID, you can do that. It goes through guided meditations, progressive muscle relaxation, setting intention. It's a really helpful application. There's another app called #selfcare, which has you go through various self-care activities throughout the interactive game so that you can build them up, you can set intentions, you can really good application. And then there are so many other apps for specific needs. So if you want help with your sleep schedule, motivation, journaling, they're all there. I recommend even just a quick Google search or going to an app store. There are a lot of really great free apps. So these are just some of the references. There's so much really great information out there on the internet. I recommend that you all look at those. But thank you so much for joining and being here with me today. Mental health is really important for everybody. And feel free to comment below some things that you do for self-care. And you can always reach out if you need anyone to speak with. Thank you.